Hi friends! Insights from the trail from a waterfowl preserve. Getting eaten alive by the insect kingdom right now. It's nice to be able to walk and talk without a backpack, but I'm hitting the Ice Age trail next week and you're coming with me. I have a very special message for you today. In this series, we're covering the life and teachings of Master Yeshua, better known by the name of Jesus. And I've been thinking a lot lately about Jesus and the lepers, the leper colonies. And many people don't realize this, but Jesus had a lot of half brothers and sisters. Joseph, his father, was married before and had quite a few children, and his wife passed away before marrying Mary. And Jesus had some nephews and nieces, and one of his nieces, who was becoming of age to prepare for marriage, it was pretty early in those days there in Israel, and she loved hearing Jesus speak. Everything, she just ate it up. She completely was in alignment and resonated with Jesus and his teachings and his ministry. And she was so drawn to him. And she knew without a shadow of a doubt that she didn't want to take on that normal, conventional life of a female back then, which is basically you get married early, you have kids, you take care of the house and the children and the family. Very limited options. Not to say that those aren't special and amazing. And she wanted to walk with Jesus, to be one of his followers and helpers. And she knew that. She was so passionate about walking with Jesus. And she expressed this to him. And he said, you know, that's not the way. You have to talk to your parents. And she ended up, long story short, spent a year not being able to walk with Jesus, but very, she didn't bring it up again, but she was very resolute in her decision, the niece. And eventually she was granted permission by her parents, Jesus' older stepbrother, and she had to change her appearance to look like a little boy. She was able to walk with Jesus, be one of the followers, one of his helpers in his ministry. And our first experience was helping with the lepers. And her recounting of this was, she knew it was a test because it was so hard to go into these colonies. Everybody had ousted them. So much fear. So there was a lot unknown about leprosy. And they knew it was contagious. They wanted to keep everybody quarantined, isolated away. And so Jesus and his followers would go, the disciples would go help bring food. They would build structures. Think about it. If you're losing limbs, you're not able to do normal activities. So they would help build structures, food, support, and do healings and treat them as well. And when everybody else in the population wanted to stay away from the lepers, that's where Jesus went to bring his ministry and to treat everyone equally with kindness and love and compassion. Can you imagine the shock of this 13-year-old girl dressed up as a boy? Jesus' niece, who's been, village life, sheltered, and all of a sudden she's introduced to these leper colonies where people are, can you imagine what they look like, what they smell like, the degradation of their life and their life force must have been extremely shocking for her. And yet Jesus would never recoil, would never treat them. We have this saying, treat them like a leper, right? Everybody else, shunned, get away, disgust. divisive. You are below me, I am above, you are unworthy, you are unclean. And it made me start thinking about these days and how there is so much divisiveness and hate. Have I been treating anyone like lepers? And I really thought about it, reflected. I don't want to be divisive or hateful at all. I want to follow Jesus' example of love and compassion, connectedness. What an example in the face of so much contrast right now. Like his niece was tested first time out of her village to go into a leper colony. I believe we're being tested right now. We have the opportunity with all this intense, blatant contrast in our face to live the Christ-like nature, to embody that. Even if someone is completely different in a way that, might feel metaphorically like a leper, fundamentally at the core different beliefs, beyond political beliefs, and they're living their life in such a way that is disparate, completely out of alignment with how you live yours. But can you still treat them with compassion and not like a leper? Follow Jesus' example. Beautiful. We have the most amazing time right now to make the decision to live a life in fear or to live a life in love. What energy do you want to embody? Sending you love and light on your journey. Make it an amazing day.